Hello, it's week 24 of season 2 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is The County Nurse. Marty, what's up this week?
I'm in the courthouse reading a book on self-defense. Then I'm trying out some news, and then Andy walks in, and he wants to know what I'm doing. Then I say, karate, ancient form of self-defense. It's the most deadly form of the tech known to man. It makes judo look like child's play. Andy, this stuff is just fascinating. And then I show him some news, and then Mary, our county nurse, walks in. She says she's on her way up to Ray Hollister's place to give him his tetanus shot. And I say, wait a minute, you think you're going to make Ray Hollister take a shot? The way that'll do the day, you might as well forget it. But Andy says he'll help her see that everyone gets their shot. So they make plans for him to drive her up there in about 10 minutes. And she says he's a dear, and she kisses him. And then she goes to get some equipment.
And then he says she's a fine girl, doing a fine job, works hard, trying to make folks stay healthy. This community is lucky to have her.
And I say, and ain't it just fine that she's got such a fine sheriff to help her out with her fine work? And that little sugar she give you, that didn't hurt none, did it? Yeah, you just want to help her out because you want to see everyone stay nice and healthy. So he drives her up there to Ray Hollister's place, and they spend some time in the car first before walking up to the house. And she shows Andy which neck muscles get tense when you get tetanus. And that turns out to be a little hug. And then it turns out that Ray doesn't want to get his shot, as we expected.
So Andy starts showing him some of the little medical equipment pieces that the nurse has, hoping that he'll be impressed and it might soften him up to get his shot. But it doesn't, and they leave without giving it to him.
And back in the courthouse, I hear Andy tell Mary that they ain't gonna give up yet. And then Andy leaves on an errand, and I say, what happened? Ray Hollister turned you down, did he? You want me to take you back up there? Andy's too soft. Ray Hollister's like a child, and he's gotta be treated like one. You don't ask a child to do something, you tell him. Come on, let's go. I'll make him take his shot. And we get up there, and I tell her to leave everything to me.
But he shoots at you and tells you all to get off his property.
Yeah, and I say, all right, I'll be back, Ray. You're in trouble, big fella. Big trouble. You just threw away any chance you had for leniency.
So this third time, you and Andy go up there without the nurse. And Andy tells Mary, when she says she's worried about him, he should take a gun. He says, yeah, I'm not taking a gun. I'm not planning on doing any shooting. And you shouldn't worry, Mary.
Yeah, and Andy walks right up to Ray and takes his gun away from him, even though he's shooting at us. And then I walk up and I say, oh, he gave himself up, did he? I figured he would. Once he seen he was overpowered. Who do you think you're playing with, fella? The Boy Scouts? And once he's in jail, the nurse tries to reason with him to get a shot, but she can't. And then Andy comes in and has coffee in the cell with Ray, and he tells him right out that without that shot, he might die from just a cut or from a bite from an animal. And then he describes the funeral that Ray would have, and he plays a song that he would play at it.
And then Ray changes his mind once he hears that funeral song and decides to get the shot. And he says he'll help the nurse get his neighbors to get the shot too. And you say, yeah, it's always the big folks that make the biggest babies. And then the nurse says, oh yeah, Barney, it's time for your shot.
And I say, how do you know? Maybe there's been some mistake. I think we ought not rush into this. We ought to make sure.
So it turns out you're just as big of a baby. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 25.